Okay, for those of you that are here now, thanks for dropping in. As you see behind me, I have the drawing of Robert Downey Jr. And I'm going to be starting on it in about 2 minutes at the top of the hour. And I'm hoping to finish it during this session. So while I'm drawing, feel free to ask any questions if you have any. Thanks, Consuelo. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're getting something from my tutorials. By the way, if you haven't done so already, I have a Facebook group for those interested in sharing your drawings and getting them critiqued. Join the group, the Facebook group. Any of my recent videos will have in the description where the group is, but it's really simple. It's facebook.com/groups/Rixcandoit. And there's 3 questions. Just answer the 3 questions. That way I know, that why you want to join the group. And come join us. I know a lot of people are posting on Facebook itself, the main news feed, and sometimes I see my name show up in the thing going, Rixcandoit, here's my drawing of my daughter, or whatever. And there's so much stuff being posted there that most of the time I'm going to miss all those drawings. So it's better to post them in the group itself rather just in the Facebook, my main Facebook page, which there's like 100 or 150 friend requests a day now, and it's getting kind of hard to keep up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go to the table over there. So again, feel free to just chime in, leave comments, ask questions, do whatever, and I will glance over at the chat box periodically while I'm drawing, and I'll try to explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it, and hopefully tonight will be the night I get to finish this drawing and move on to a new drawing, because I'm kind of getting tired of looking at Robert's face. Alright, I'm now at the drawing table. Put on my glasses here. Ah, there you are, Robert. Okay. Make sure I can see this chat box here. Well, as you see, I've pretty much finished all this. And now I'm just going to focus on his jacket and his shirt. The shirt will be easy because it's mostly going to be white anyway. But his suit, see if I get that in the camera there. See, there we go. If you look real close to the suit here, you'll notice that it's mostly a gray color with some dark charcoal colored darkness lines, pattern lines, and then you have these little white highlights. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lay down a foundation here, a base, and I'm going to lay it down at the darkest color you see right here. So kind of a dark gray, and then I'm going to take an eraser and I'm going to start to lightly remove the charcoal, leaving the lighter gray areas here. And there's really no white in here at all, so I only need to go from a dark gray down to a light gray for here. And then this little speck right here is just black, so I'll just put that in as black. and this will be really dark here. And then this is a even darker area right here. So I won't actually need to remove very much as I will over here. So this is a little lighter than here, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind as I'm doing this. And after I'm done with that, then we can tackle the shirt itself. While this is a nice bright white here, this area right here, as you can see, is a shaded white. So it will be lightly shaded. This would probably be about a 4H pencil to do this right here. And this one here is going to take a very light hand to accomplish, and so we'll worry about that when we get to it. So here's what I'm going to do. To do this area right here, I'm going to go ahead and use some charcoal powder. Okay, and then I'm going to take it off with my eraser. So get myself a Q-tip. Okay, so this is what I do. I dip it in here, like so, and then I tap off the extra, like so. So when you see me going with my Q-tip off the screen, that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm not going to keep holding this thing up over here. Okay, and so I'm going to start to just lightly come in here. And now the other nice thing too is if I get any kind of streaks from doing this, it will actually work for my benefit because the jacket has streaks. I just make sure I go in the direction of the pattern itself. I'm going to try to be careful not to get any where the shirt is, because the shirt's going to be white. So it'll make it a little more difficult for me to get white on there if I get charcoal in there. So should be careful when doing this. Also, the edges here is going to have to be really sharp. You'll go from a slightly dark to a light as I make the fold over. And that way the edges will be nice and smooth, because right now it's going to be a little bit messy with a Q-tip. So these are all things that I have to think about ahead of time here. This is just really simple to do. Just lay down the charcoal powder with the Q-tip. I'm going to go right up to the edge here the best I can. Most of it I'm going to do with pencil. You just want to get a base done here. And don't rub it in. Whatever you do, don't rub it in the paper. Just lay it down. If you rub it in the paper, you're going to make it difficult for yourself to get any of it lifted off. Well, I don't have really room to put the reference photo and my drawing on the screen at the same time, so I'm Sorry about that, Arnold. I just had the reference photo showing here a second ago. Here it is again, in case you missed it. I'm working on this right here, so I'm putting down the base tone right now, and then I'm going to lift out those light grays with an eraser. And that's what I'm working on right now. But I don't have room to put it in here, unfortunately. The camera would have to sit further back as well. And because this is live, I don't have a way to put them both on at the same time. I'm not set up for that. So I got to do the best that I can. Right now this is just a pretty flat 2D look, so still much more work to do here on this. We get this base tone down, that's a start. Alright, Arnold, good going. You're a pretty clever guy. Okay, now you may not be able to see this on the camera, but I want you to squint and notice that while this may look like the same tone, it is not, okay? Here's where I want you to focus, right around the edge of this jacket where the shirt is. It's slightly darker than the rest of it here, and it is important to convey this. And also I need to get this edge in here like this. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And this is still a lot darker than what you see right here, so I still have much more to go here. But that's just so that you can see what I'm working on. Now I'm going to try, first off, I'm going to use this extra hard pencil because it will give me a sharper line. However, if it doesn't give me the depth I want, then I will have to go a little softer, but I'm going to try with this first. Sometimes it's a matter of experimentation here. Okay, seems to be working just fine. I'm going to clean the shirt off a little bit here. There we go. So I really want to get a nice clean edge. A nice clean edge on here. So that's why I'm going to use this extra hard charcoal to get a nice clean edge on this jacket. There's no rush, you just take your sweet time. Going to be slightly darker than the reference photo for initially, and then I'll blend it in. Just want to get that nice sharp edge in there. Nice clean edge. So all I want is a nice clean edge. Okay, now I'm going to blend it out a little bit with the pencil. I get quiet when I'm in deep thought, so there'll be some quiet spots. I apologize. All right. Now I got to work on darkening this jacket a little bit. And so I'm going to move on now to a medium charcoal pencil. As soon as I find it. There we go. Now here I'm just going to use a medium. And I'm going to draw out from that edge that I put in there. And I want to do that in the direction of this pattern lines you see here. And then I'm going to blend it. There's kind of a little very mild up and down. I want to try to convey that. Okay, then. Okay, then we'll flatten out. When you're doing something like a jacket or any kind of clothing, rarely is clothing just flat, and rarely does the pattern just go straight across. And I noticed that a lot of people in their drawing, they make the assumption and they'll just come in here and they'll just draw everything in one direction. But you really have to look at the subtlety. You see the darkness here compared to the light here, and then notice that it gives you kind of a, like it kind of comes up and then drops a little bit. Just comes up and drops. So it's not a straight line, but there is actually a slight curving pattern. It's just very minute. But your eyes will catch that, and you want to convey that in your drawing if you want to convey realism. Now I'm going to end up blending this and taking some of it off, but I still want to go in the direction of those patterns that I see. So it's very important to keep looking at the reference and detect the direction of the waves of the threads and everything that you see on that jacket. So I went this way, and now I'm actually going to be making U's. It's very subtle, but it's there. I'll worry about the tones and the shading later. I just want to get the loopy pattern going on here. Okay, now I'm going to go back down. While at the same time going in this direction. I'm going to get the zebra stripes very subtle. They'll blend out in a moment, but I want to get them in there. And then I'll lighten them up. Another one here. Finish this. No, Judy, I'm using a soft side of Bristol. Bristol has a kind of a pattern side and a smooth side. I use the smooth side. That way it allows me to make all the textures rather than the paper doing it. Okay, well, this part here gets a little smoothed out as it goes to the side, so I'm going to go ahead and do it that way. So there's the little mildly wavy up until this point here. And then I'm going to just go ahead and, this is mostly straight to finish. And then in a moment it'll get lightened up because I'm going to have to blend it, and then I can work on the details a little bit more and see if I have to put another layer on, which I most likely will have to. Because this is definitely darker than the reference, but that's what I expected putting the charcoal on here. Thanks, Jose. Appreciate it. It's been a long time working on this. I'm ready to move on to something else. All right. Now, before I worry about too much with the detail, what I want to do is smooth this out. I have several options that I can use. Okay, one is I can use a Kleenex tissue paper that doesn't have like aloe or any kind of hand moisturizer stuff in it. You don't want that. And I just put it into a little point. Now I could use this. In a moment here, I'm going to show you the textures that you get based on everything I was doing with the charcoal pencil. You're going to see the pattern show up, and then you'll understand, okay, now I see what he was doing and why I did it that way. I'll push that into that tape there so I get all that white out of there. Any area that I think is too dark, I'll just go over it. This takes it off as well as blends, so okay, now I'm going to clean it up a little bit on the shirt here. Don't want to get it on there. Want a sharp edge to the shirt. All right. Now take a look at the pattern of the jacket. See this very subtle zebra stripe there? See the darkening on the rim here, which I'm going to add a little bit more on the shadow part, but notice that, and then it lightens up as it goes over here. This is being done with the charcoal, noting little details, and then you take a look at all that subtle stuff that was on here. And so you just come in here, and if you need to make any adjustments, take your tissue paper or your Q-tip and lighten up any areas that you need to lighten up. But that's why I went ahead and I go in the direction of where I see the texture and the pattern of the jacket. This way it gives it more of a realistic look rather than a cartoonish look. But what's very important here as well is notice that I have lightness in this area here, lightness in here, and a little bit is darker here. So I need to convey that over here. And so what I'm going to do first is put the lid on this this charcoal powder so I don't get it all over everything. So I'm going to take my, thank you Judy. I'm going to take my kneaded eraser here now, and I'm going to give myself a little paddle to work with, just ever so lightly. Okay, so remember, it's darker here. Okay, it's darker here than it is here. So I need to very carefully now, I need to lighten it up without getting too heavy-handed with my eraser, which is easy to do. Don't try to make it perfectly light. You want some dark streaks to hang in there a little bit, just to give you that little, oh, I don't know how to say it, realistic look that, you know, it's not all one tone. You're going to have differences in shades. There's tiny little bits of darkness within the light, so leave those in if you can. That zebra stripe's a little on the dark side. Gonna lighten that up. And I'll lighten most of it up. I'm looking at the reference photo constantly. Okay, now I'm going to blend again. I'm going to take my eraser pen here because I have some aggressive areas here that I need to lighten up. I want these lines to be very subtle. I don't want them to take over the jacket. They shouldn't. But I need the eyes to catch it and say that they can see it, even though the person may not actually realize they are looking at it. You don't want it to be the focal point. That would kind of take away from the drawing, but very, very lightly it's in there. Just lightly, just like in the original. Make sure I get that part there. Okay. Now, I need to find me that hard charcoal pencil again. Okay, I'm going to use the extra hard here because I need to get that shadow part in there again. I'm going to come in from the shadow of the shirt out into the light and just back off. Just give it the illusion that it's coming up and out. Okay, now artist's best friend, tortillon. Tortellini tortillon. Let's just sit there and blend it from the dark into the light. Yeah, it's starting to look like it's not flat, and that's what I want. You have to be really careful with these because they're hard and you don't want to damage the paper. Now, there happens to be a little shade or shadow on the shirt itself. I'm going to go ahead and imply it's there. Then it kind of tapers off about right there. Let's see, I'm gonna find me my blender and go for a little softer. Now you notice how much time I take just on a small area? Don't be in a hurry. Unless you're just doing a cartoon, don't be in a hurry. Do not stop until you've achieved that look you want. Only when you're satisfied that you've achieved what you want should you then move on to calling it done. Okay, now time for me to work on the subtleties. I'm going to look at this reference photo and look at things as close as possible, the small details. I notice the rim here is lighter than the rest of the jacket, so I'm trying to catch that in the drawing itself. And there's a little light streak that goes across here. So I want to convey that because it's on the reference. It should be here too. Okay, now I need to do some touch-up work. One is this point here is really rounded, so I'm going to use this 3B Conte et Paris Pure Noir, though I might go to something else because this is actually carbon here. But if I can get away with it, I'm going to. I'm just going to see if I can round this up and not make it look noticeable that there's a different pencil being used. Okay, there we go. All right. Use my paper blender just to feather it out a little bit here. All right. Let's sit here and look at it for a second. See, I'm going to use this extra hard because I want to try to get this slight streak here, slight streak here. These are already in these zebra lines, at least two of them are. I can get this third one in a second. But I want to get some of these small details in here. But they have to be ever so light that they're not that much darker than the actual base that I have on there. Very subtle, very subtle. Look at the reference and draw what you see. Okay, got that. Over here, there's a little bit of a dark spot here. Okay, and here, kind of looks like a fireman's hat here. I'm gonna get that in there like so. Okay, then there's a diamond down here, diamond shape. Get that in there, kind of. Okay, right there. Okay, now I want to get that third stripe in there, but it's very, very light and it's not solid all the way through, so I have to hint. There's part of it there, then it comes down here. It's kind of blurred out. This is too dark in this area right here, so I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, I just drew that. I drew that. Got that. Okay, let me get this back in here again, like so. There's a little one here. Okay, right here, there's a little bit of darkness here. Okay, and over here on the edge is pretty dark. Okay, at the, right here, I want to get all this in here. Goes to about right there. Very subtle. You really have to look hard at it to see it. That's the whole idea. It goes up and then down. Okay, I think I'm happy with this. Let's see, this is too light here. Let me get this a little bit toned down, just a little bit, not too much. All right. All right, I think I like that. That looks about as close to that pattern as I'm going to get it. So, yeah, I think that's pretty good. What do you think? You like? Hi, Patrick. What do you think? Good? Come on, guys, don't be shy. Tell me what you think. Okay, now I'm going to work on this really dark part of the jacket way over here. So it's going to actually be darker than this one here. Thanks, Jose. Okay, again, I'm going back to the charcoal powder to lay down my base. Fortunately, this one here doesn't have as much detail to worry about. Okay, this Q-tip's going to be a little bit too big, so time to use my handy little paper blender. Basically drawing with my blender tip. using charcoal powder. Okay, let's see. Needs to be darker. Gotta go darker. So that's my base. I'm gonna go in darker now. Which means I'm gonna have to find my medium pencil here. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna use this 3B and see if that gets me where I want to go. Okay, so I drew it dark right along the shirt. I'm going to use my paper blender right now and I'm going to blend it out, away from the shirt. And then smooth that one down there. Let's see, where can I find my... this jacket darker. Using the extra hard pencil again, see if I can get some subtle tone differences going here. This is not really as dark as the reference right now, but I want to get the slight fold that I can see on there. From here, up, over, and down. Up, over, and down. Up, over, and down. All right, now I'm going to have to go to my graphite here. I'm going to go with a 4H pencil and get some tone put down on this shirt here. So we'll just start with a light tone of 4H here just to get the shadow part of that collar in. As soon as I'm done with this, I will blend, smooth it out, and take my eraser and start pulling some highlights out of it. I don't want any of these dark blotches showing up, so I'm going to just take them out as I go. Hold the pencil in the back so you're not putting any weight on it at all. Okay, so I got a little bit of base down there. Again with the tissue. See if I can blend that out, make it nice and smooth without getting any of that charcoal on my shirt, because it's just right next door. Okay, I'm going to need to get a clean tortilla or blender for the rest of this here. Let's see if I can find one. Okay, I'm going to use a clean one here, just so I could get in here and because it's very tight spot here. Alright, again with my 4H. Now, because this point is so hard, now I could use a paper blender. I don't have a clean one right now, but I could use this. But because it's hard, I don't want to use the point. I want to use the side. And I would just lightly blend this 4H and smooth it out. At the same time, I could avoid that charcoal next to it. Because I want this as subtle as possible. Now, although you do not see any kind of a pattern on this shirt whatsoever, I want to draw in the direction of the collar, which is going around the neck like this. So this is the direction I'm shading in. this way. I'm doing this very lightly. I'm not pressing on the paper whatsoever, okay? Just not pressing on it at all. Just want to lightly move that 4H graphite and smooth it out. Gives it the lightest of shades. There's a really bright area right here. I'm just going to leave that alone. All right. Take this couple little spots out. There we go. And take my tortillon and continue on my little journey here of blending that 4H. And make things as even as possible on the shirt. Alright, find me a clean Q-tip here, smooth it down as much as I can. Alright, got me a little bit of a mess there. Okay, then what I notice here, if you look, notice that on the edge of the collar right here is bright. Okay, it's brighter than the shirt right there because the light is reflecting off of it. Okay, hopefully you can see that right there along the edge. So take my eraser pen and I'm going to put that in carefully. This is all bright white here, so I'm going to lighten that up. Okay, I'm going to take my 4H again, but this time I'm going to go inside the shirt with that sharp point. I'm going to try to get me a nice hard line in there. Okay, good deal. Now I notice, all right, let's see here. We got bright here, lighter here. So I got to tone that down just a little bit. Slightly darker right about there, but not much. So I'm just going to give it a little bit without getting too crazy. This is a 2H now, so it's a little darker. All right, here we go. Okay. Gracias. Okay. I gotta fix this area up right here. Don't like it. Don't like it. See if I can get that fixed up. Got anything on here? Nope. Okay. I grabbed the wrong pencil, would you know it? There we go. I gotta lighten that thing up. Thanks, Julio. Yeah, I'm ready to move on to something else, man. I tell you, I don't want to work on this guy's face. You know what? I see his face in my sleep. I don't want to see it anymore. You know? Trust me, that's not what I want to see in my sleep. Okay. Alright, here we go. We got the light here. Here. I'm going to light that up there. Then I'm going to take a sharp 2H here and draw that little line that's on that shirt right about there. Just give it that little detail. Goes a long ways. Voila. Okay, and then there's a slight shadow kind of right here. So I'll throw that in for good measure. Okay. Now over here, this is this here's too dark. Oh, Patrick, I'm addicted to Marvel movies. I haven't seen the Infinity War one yet, though. I need to get out. I got injured playing basketball at my age, believe it or not, and I had to be off my feet, so I can't really be going anywhere, but I'm just recently now finally getting around. I think I'm going to go see that movie. Infinity War. With Iron Man in there, I'm sure. I don't know how this is coming out on camera. But I hope you guys could, I hope you can see the details and stuff. Okay. Oh no, I understood what you meant, Patrick. It's just that I like watching those movies, so I guess I'm going to be stuck looking at his mug for a little bit longer, you know? What you think? I think I'm going to be stuck looking at it for a while. But I don't want to keep drawing them. I don't want to draw them anymore. I'm done. Alright, I'm just going to get this dark area in here and wrap this up. Blender. Okay, good. I'm glad you can see it. There's a lot of subtleties on this drawing that I just think doesn't show up on the camera, but that's okay. Extra hard charcoal pencils. Give me the sharp lines because I need to get right in here very carefully. Get a sharp line of darkness right underneath that collar. And it looks like a little bit here. Not much. Alright, that's going to have to do there. That should be fine. I don't want to get too picky here. Now let's see. One last looky-loo here. Okay, we got this subtle thing here. I'm going to have to take this 4H here. I've already drawn Angelina Jolie. I've already done her. She was the like the second drawing I've ever done. I'm going to take this 4H here, and I'm just, because I don't want to leave this white as the paper, but at the same time it's very bright. So I'm going to give it the impression of it being a shirt, of course, but ever so lightly. I'm going to take this cloth here, this tissue, smooth it out. Oh, I got it messed up. Look at that. I smeared some charcoal on it, so I might use that. Yeah, I could use that. There we go. Yeah, I like that. There we go. Yep, I'm putting my finger all over it. Okay. Well, I think that's going to be about it. I'm going to do one look over here real quick and then make sure I'm happy with it. My next one, I could tell you this, my next one is not going to be an actor or an actress, okay? People are asking me, is all I do is portraits of movie stars? Well, no, I did my wife and and I did a desert man and a girl on a wall and a baby and a couple of horses. So, you know, I don't just do actors and actresses, but I've done a lot of them now, and it's probably a good idea that I move away from that and and do something different. So I think friends are going to have to wait. Get that little mess off of there. They don't want that on there. Get that off. All right, let's take a look at this now. I'm going to take this hard pencil because I need a clean right here along the face to the background. Okay, why don't we just call that finished and tear this tape off. Okay. Oops, that's tearing. How could you know? All right. Now when I'm happy with my drawing, which is, I'm going to call this finished, okay? Some fixative. I finally finished it. Draw the Grand Canyon. Patrick, what are you trying to do to me? I draw people. I don't want to draw a Grand Canyon. So thanks for dropping by and watching as I finished up the drawing. I'm thoroughly happy with the drawing. Is it in there? There it is. There's a full shot of it. Alright. So I'm going to get this matted and framed so you can't see any of the dirty spots around here. And put it on my wall.